Well, our latest Halloween movie is Night of the Creeps, starring Tom Atkins. A wonderful tale of how basically some space worms got into some dead bodies and reanimated them and made them walk around, and you got to basically burn their heads or do something with flamethrowers and shit. Really crazy fucking movie, actually, and Tom's really good at it. That's where he picked up his I believe, Thrill Me thing here. But yeah, I guess we're on number, we're counting down. What is today, 27th? Let's see, Monday? I don't know. We're getting there. I don't even know what day it is. I've had a fucked up situation going on lately, so I couldn't tell you. But you know something? I'm going to take you back to 1962. Yeah, a little nostalgia here. Check this out. Remember these? Mars Attacks trading cards. Yeah, this stuff right here. Crazy shit. This was 1962. We got a whole bunch of these little bastards here. Look at this. 1962, I was 10 years old, and I had to get exposed to this stuff. Let's see, what do we have? We have a prize captive, we have removing the victims, we have a monster reaches in, and we have the one taboo you shouldn't fuck with, destroying the dog. So we get rid of destroying the dog, and we have burning flesh instead. We get rid of the monster reaches in, and we have crushed to death. We have removing the victims, and we get burning cattle, which basically was the opening of the movie Mars Attacks, and we had the Frost Ray. Again, bear in mind, I'm 10 years old, I'm in some sweet shop, and for 5 cents I picked these things up thinking they're new monster cards, and they're anything but. They're basically horrific. Here's another one, Death in the Shelter. Trapped. It seems that the Martians came in and used giant bugs too. A lot of giant bugs. I got a hairy fiend. Not a Harry Potter, but a hairy fiend. Then we have one of the things getting its brains crushed out. I mean, you look at this shit. This is incredibly fucking violent for 1962. I'm 10 years old looking at this. And prior to this, I believe it was the same artist, they had a set of Civil War cards out that were just as violent and gross. Men being pinned to trees with bayonets, stacks of bodies, all kinds of crazy shit. You know, here we go. Attacking the Army base. Saucers blast our jets. Burning our Navy ships. Washington in flames. Well, we almost had Washington in flames about a year ago. And then we got Terror in Times Square, which had nothing to do with me. A Human Torch. Oh, I missed that up there. And Skyscraper Tumbles. Charred by Martians. And Death in the Cockpit. Look at this shit. I mean, how crazy is this, that this was sold to kids with no problem? And also, you know, when you went into these, like, you know, candy and magazine stores, there was other stuff that, you know, kids shouldn't have been exposed to, but you had the National Enquirer before it became a tattle rag with wonderful headlines like Cannibalism, I Cut Out Her Heart and Stomped on It, Man Eats Woman, all kinds of fucking sick, bloody shit. And then, of course, you had, right next to that, you had the men's adventure magazines with the Nazis, the acid baths, Japanese soldiers bayoneting women and children. I mean, we were exposed to all kinds of this crazy, violent shit. But here's the segue. Playboy was kept behind the counter, along with Dude, Nugget, and some other men's magazines. If you were really risque, you could find nudist camp magazines there. You know, this is how crazy it was, where we sort of pushed the violence like crazy, but we poo-pooed the sex. And, you know, it's like, I don't understand society in general with this stuff. It's just fucking crazy. But this is 1962. I guess it was the year before that or so. They had the Civil War cards. I don't have any of those, and these are reproductions. But I mean, can you imagine? You know, this is what we were exposed to, and then you wonder, I don't know. I never grew up, you know, violent or anything like that. It just, you know, sometimes shit came with the territory when you had to do certain things, but man, this is like completely over the fucking top. And yeah, I don't know what to say. I just came across these the other day. I was cleaning up and I found them, and I said, well, maybe this is a good little segue to a video here. But it just shows. I mean, for whatever reason, this country just seems to embrace the violence and poo-poo off the sex. And, you know, I know everybody hates me to get political, but when you look at what's going on, we're heading back into those mid-50s, early 60s era where basically any gains we've accomplished, we're getting pushed back. And it's scary. It's even scarier because I just went food shopping, and every time I go, it's higher and higher. And when you're on a limited income and you got health problems, and of course I'm going to go to the doctor and he's going to say, well, you got to change your diet. I'm going to like, well, how so? I'm not a millionaire. I saw a roast in BJ's yesterday that went for $221. No, not $21, $221 for a fucking roast, a fucking piece of meat. You're limited on the amount of chicken you can buy. I've been in other stores where there's stuff off the shelves. And the bottom line is, I don't think there's a supply chain issue. I think this is another fucking failure of the government, letting the corporations basically recoup what they lost in the pandemic. And the thing is, this shit ain't going to come down. Oh, no, 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 no. It ain't going to come down at all. It never comes down. This is going to be the new norm. And no matter how many Social Security increases you try to give me, no matter what the fuck happens, I'm still behind the eight ball, just like probably a billion other fucking people in this country, because we have a government run by two parties, and one is worse than the other, but the two of them are bad, because they keep giving these corporations huge tax breaks, they're making huge profits, and, you know, it's fucking bullshit. And, you know, the whole deal was when Mr. Biden got in, he was supposed to tax the corporations. Well, no, he decided to tax eBay sellers instead. So I think I've gone through this before. If you sell $600 worth of shit on eBay, you got to give them your tax information. Well, being that I'm trying to maintain two dogs, maintain my own house, and try to help my mother, I had to sell a lot of personal shit on eBay that I lost a shitload of money on, and I'm going to write that down, and I'm taking the goddamn loss. I'm not paying taxes on shit that I already fucking bought and that I'm losing money on. So I'm fucking done. And like I said, I don't understand this shit. It's fucking scary, and we got, what, another 14 days of these fucking horrible commercials and shit? But what are you going to do? It's like some of this shit that's mirrored here, you know, it's weird. We live in fucking weird times, weirder than ever, but I don't know what I can do about that. But going back to eBay, I am getting away from eBay. I think I'm going to have to get away from wheeling and dealing that I've done almost all my life. I'm going to have to stop. I mean, you know, you make minimal on the shit as it is, and then you got to pay taxes on it, and then you wipe it out. So what am I working for? Nothing. And I hate to say it, right now I have to go to food pantries to fucking make ends eat. Meat rather. Make ends meet, not meat you get. And you got to take what they give you. And 75% of what I get, I give to my neighbors, because a lot of this shit I can't fucking eat. It's loaded with fucking salt and all this other stuff. So we're getting, you know, the tail end of shit. And the other thing is, you get basically shit that was pulled from the shelves and quick frozen when it went out of date. So sometimes you luck out and get something really good. Other times you defrost it and it smells like rotten meat, which it is, and you got to throw it out. So it's not a good fucking thing. But that's what's going on here. Another thing is, being that I want to get off of eBay, and I know people are probably shopping for Christmas and things like that, we got some of these laying around still, if you're into physical media. We got Mad Doctor of Blood Island from Severin. We have Asylum, a great anthology of British horror from Severin. We have Umberto Lenzi's Eaten Alive, a wonderful cannibal film. We have the 2-disc set of Dr. Butcher, M.D. We have Joe D'Amato's Emanuelle in Francios, which is probably sleazy and disgusting, and Zombie 3. Now, you can have any of these you want, for $10 and $4 shipping for the first one or two. If there's 5 here you like, I will basically pay the shipping, so it'll be $50. And I have maybe 3 or 4 of each of these laying around. So if you're interested, you can email me at grindhousepurgatory@gmail.com or Mr. 42nd Street Pete at yahoo.com, and I'll give you the PayPal information, and you can have these for whatever gifts or things like that. I mean, it's going to be a rough Christmas, let's face it. And like I said, I got to segue out of this. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm not looking forward to this coming year because it's very frightening to me because I don't know what I'm going to be dealing with. But I guess I'll know after the midterms because, honestly, that'll make or break me there. I have to make a decision depending on who gets in. And if they're going to take away Social Security and Medicare, that's going to be a really bad thing and it's going to hurt a lot of people, but they don't care. We realize that. Just realize something. They don't fucking care. All this rhetoric, none of them care. Period. So that's my show for today. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for tuning in. And if you want any of these wonderful DVDs, feel free to shoot me an email. So this is 42nd Street Pete saying stay safe. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for subscribing. And we'll catch you on the flip side.